Look at your hands. Look at your reflection in the screen. You might think you are purely Homo sapiens, but science tells a different story. Hidden inside your cells is a ghost from the past, a legacy left behind by a species that vanished thousands of years ago, yet never truly left. They are the Neanderthals, our closest known human relatives. For centuries, we pictured them as brutish cavemen, grunting in the dark. But recent discoveries have shattered that image. They were complex, they were adaptable, and in a way they were us, or at least part of us. In this video, we're going to uncover the truth about who they were, why they disappeared, and the shocking ways their DNA still controls your health, your pain, and even your sleep today. Welcome to the story of the Neanderthals. To understand them, we have to go back in time. Way back. Roughly 600,000 to 800,000 years ago. The lineage that would eventually become us shared a common ancestor with the Neanderthals. Then, somewhere between 400,000 and 350,000 years ago, they emerged as a distinct population in Eurasia. They roamed the earth for hundreds of thousands of years. They were hominins, part of the same family tree that includes us, chimpanzees, and bonobos. They were also closely related to another mysterious group, the Denisovans. But while our lineage survived and thrived, their distinct branch faded away around 34,000 years ago. But what did they actually look like? If you saw a Neanderthal walking away from you, you might not notice much difference. They walked perfectly upright. They were perhaps a bit shorter, stockier, but once they turned around, the differences were clear. Their skulls were large, actually larger than ours on average, but the shape was different. They were long rather than globe-shaped, with lower foreheads and those famous prominent brow ridges. Their internal brain structure differed too, though we are still learning what that means for their intelligence. Many of their features were powerful survival tools. Their large rib cages and broad noses weren't just random. They helped them thrive in the cold, harsh Ice Age climates. Their bodies were built for a physically intensive lifestyle, fueling muscles that needed to hunt megafauna in freezing temperatures. Were they a different species? Most experts say yes. In 1864, they were officially named Homo neanderthalensis. Their skeletons show obvious differences from us. But here's the twist. Being a different species didn't stop us from getting very close. One of the biggest debates is about their voice. Could they talk? Most researchers now agree they communicated vocally. Their internal ear anatomy suggests that speech was important in their daily lives. They could probably make a similar range of sounds as we do. They even carried the FOXP2 gene, which is key for human language. But their version worked slightly differently. Some experts suggest their speech might have been comparable to a typical 3-year-old today. They could describe color, shape, and number, but might have struggled with complex narratives or verbs conveying the past and future. However, a 2023 study suggests they likely used recognizable gestures during social interactions, just like chimpanzees and other great apes do. So, while they might not have been writing poetry, they were certainly talking, sharing, and connecting with one another. So, if they were so adaptable, why did they vanish around 40,000 years ago? This is one of archaeology's biggest cold cases. Climate is a key suspect. Rapid, dramatic climate change in their final 10,000 years wreaked havoc on their environment and their prey. Then there's us. When Homo sapiens arrived in Eurasia, did we fight them? Did we compete for food? While there's no archaeological evidence of direct large-scale war, competition for territory and resources was likely fierce. But the real cause was probably a slow-motion extinction. Neanderthals lived in small, isolated communities. This led to inbreeding and dangerously low genetic diversity. They were vulnerable. And here is the newest theory. A 2024 study suggests they didn't just die out. They were absorbed. As it turns out, up to 3.7% of the Neanderthal genome came from modern humans, suggesting a picture where their smaller populations were simply assimilated into our much larger one. Their journey as a distinct lineage ended, but their bloodline continued. In us, yes, we made it. Modern DNA evidence confirms that humans and Neanderthals mixed during at least 3 different periods. The most significant phase of this interbreeding happened around 55,000 to 60,000 years ago. If your recent ancestry is not from sub-Saharan Africa, around 1% to 2.4% of your DNA is Neanderthal. Even many people of African ancestry have some of this DNA, gained when ancient humans who had left Africa migrated back in later. So, why did we keep their genes? Natural selection. Some of the most strongly retained genes relate to immunity. Neanderthals had spent 300,000 years building resistance to Eurasian viruses and bacteria. When we arrived from Africa, their genetic toolkit was a massive advantage that helped us survive. They also gave us genes that can promote fertility and protect against miscarriage. But not all of these ancient gifts were good ones. Some Neanderthal variants have negative impacts today. One variant makes people more sensitive to pain, which some researchers think could lead to more rapid aging. Another is linked to Viking's disease, a condition where fingers can freeze into a bent position. Their DNA is also strongly linked to a higher risk for autoimmune disorders like lupus and Crohn's disease. And then there's the recent pandemic. The link is complex. The Neanderthals are gone, but they are not truly extinct. They live on in your immune system, in your pain receptors, and in your very DNA. They were not the brutish monsters of old stories, but complex cousins who faced a changing world and ultimately became a fundamental part of us. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember, you are looking at a hybrid species. The story of humanity isn't just one straight line. It's a beautiful, braided river of different ancestries. What do you think? Should we try to bring Neanderthals back using their DNA? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into our incredible human history. Thanks for watching.